just turned up to Gold Valley Lakes. I'm on the middle lake again. I'm with Harvey, and I've just had this little roach on triple red maggots on the float. Just put them back. But yeah, it's a good little bite. Float went sailing away, and I had that on for my first fish. So I'm gonna drop the float back out now and see if I can get another one. Going into the first carp of the day. Just taking on the method feeder, a ball of ground bait and 2 pieces of pink corn. So I'll try and get them in now. Just a little mirror cut. Up a good fight it is. Carp of the day. Probably one of the prettiest carp I've had out of this lake. It's probably only about £2, £3. But yeah, really nice start to the day. So I'm just gonna put them back now. It's pop-up fake corn, shot on the hair, simple method feeder, bit of lake on the back. Then what I'm doing is just getting some ground bait, squeezing it around the feeder, usual stuff. And then I'm getting my rig and I'm putting it inside the ground bait and tucking it in, so it'll be nice and protected on the cast and shouldn't snag up. Not the neatest of ground bait balls, but that's the basic idea, and I'll just chuck it back out and see if I can catch another.
Alright, me and Aaron have just come down Gold Valley today. I'm just fishing on a simple float rod with maggots. I had a skimmer, but it pulled the hook and I lost that. Aaron's had a few nice fish to start the day. I'm still looking for a few bites. I'm going to mix up some more ground bait and chuck it out. Just had this little perch. It was a bit of a peculiar take, almost like a bream. Yeah, I'm just going to slip it back, keep feeding the maggots, try and get a few more.
Second fish now, taking on the method feeder again. Rip and take, and not a very good fight, but I am on really heavy carp gear, so I don't expect him to fight really. But yeah, lovely dark mirror. Just going to put him back now and see if I can catch another one. Bigger now, nice pretty one again, taking on their method feeder like usual. I don't want to keep them out of the water too long, so I'm gonna let it go now.
I just had this lovely little skimmer, probably about £1. It's float fishing in the margins. It was a bit of a peculiar take, but it took it in the end, took up to double red maggot. I lost one earlier, and yeah, nice fish. Another species ticked off our list.
Biggest carp of the day, taking on the method feeder once again. It's quite a nice little mirror, but he's got a bit of a funny mouth, so he must have been caught a few times. So I'm just gonna put him back.
Just had this lovely little roach, caught margin fishing with maggots. Took it on the drop. I've got them feeding now. Let's hope for a few more. I've had a skimmer as well. Yeah, let's slip him back.
This has got to be my favourite carp of the day. A really nice dark common. Taken on the float this time with a single grain of sweet corn right in the margins. I'll show you the spot in a minute. You won't believe how close it is into the bank. Really pleased with this one. I'm going to put him back and get the float back out. Just going to show you the spot I had the carp. You can see it down here. Literally, there's the bank to the right, and just by that snag, just where I chucked that corn, just down there. So yeah, really close in, good fun, especially on the 9-foot rod and the light line. Biggest carp of the day, probably maybe £4, £3. Taking on the method feeder yet again. Seems to be doing the damage today. think I'm on about 5 carp now on the method, 1 to the float. It's about 6 carp. So yeah, lovely little mirror. This one actually has a okay mouth, it's not too bad. So yeah, I'm gonna put him back now.
We've just changed lakes, we've gone on to the back lake. Yeah, we've just had this one on the method feeder once again. Brilliant, lovely, cracking fight. Nice dark common, lovely. In our last hour now, going to be going home in a bit, but hopefully we'll be returning to Gold Valley and have a few more like this.
Last fish of the day, my first fish out of Bungalow Lake. Very lively, as you can tell. Taking on the method feeder again, up tight to the bush on the far side. You see it behind us. And yeah, have you enjoyed your session today?
Yeah, it's been really good, really productive considering how cold the day's been. It's been really tough conditions. We've just moved lake and it's proved quite a good move actually.
Yeah, it's paid off. You had your first carp of the day.
Yeah, I had that on the method feeder, probably about 2 or 3 pounds. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, so I'll put the carp back now and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.
Well, this is a new PB for me. PB mirror, £23 on the nose. So happy.